Hi everyone and welcome back to Chess for Charity. In this video, we're going to do a really weird, kind of fun puzzle. So it might not be something you've ever seen before. The goal is to figure out if we can win with the white pieces in this position. And you might go, okay, what is this even about? Clearly this is not a legal position. So many rooks on the board, a few bishops on the board, and a knight, and of course a king. How do you shuffle your way to a win? Well, here's the challenge. Remember, the 50 move rule says you have to be able to either make a pawn move or a capture within 50 moves or it's a draw. So my question to you, can you win this within 50 moves with these pieces here? And all these rooks, I'm not going to highlight all of them. So that's the question. So you have this blank square in H1 and that's kind of where the whole journey begins. And if you want to try it on your own, feel free to play around with the position. It's in the description of the video. It's because you're not going to have a chessboard with this many rooks. At least I don't think you do. So give it a try if you want to mess around with it. If not, just stay back and enjoy the show. And before I get started, I would just encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Just a recommendation to do that because half of the income that I earn in this channel goes directly to charity. So every free subscription helps out a lot. Okay, let's get into it. So I made this puzzle. I saw one similar and I wanted to make mine of my own. So the idea is I have this knight here and I have this blank square here and I want to somehow use these two and make a little sliding puzzle. So right now I can move the rook down. I can move the bishop down too and pretty much try to make room so I can eventually move this knight. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So let's move the piece. And something like this. So look what's happening. I'm slowly moving these pieces and the idea is just to see now I can get a knight in right after I move this black piece. And this is the question, can I do this shuffling within 50 moves and still manage to win? So there are lots of ways. That's just an example. Let's go with the bishop. I'm actually wanting to do that one first. This is the way I intended when I made it. So bishop h1, and let's see what happens. So the king, obviously, the black king has nothing better than to just move around. They can't go anywhere anyway. These are all blocked off by the pawns. So the king's just going to run around on these back rank squares. And if I can draw my arrows, there it is. Okay, so we'll just move the king back and forth. So I want to set up this knight to take one of these pawns, right? This is the way that I envisioned it. So I need to get a knight to a square that would be within reach of these pawns. Something like this. Oops, like that. Right, you see what I'm getting at? Okay, that means I need the knight to get to one of these squares that I have highlighted in orange/yellow. Well, that means I need to get my knight to a place where it can jump into this square. So let's go in blue. Let's look at the squares that would do that. So this square, this square, this square, this square. If I could jump them in, I would then be able to take on the next move, right? So this is kind of the way that I thought about this puzzle. And the first one I noticed that's easily accessible for this knight is c3, get me to e2. e2 will get me to f4. f4 I can sacrifice on g6. Let's see if I can do that in time. Okay, let's take the color off the board. So it's white to move. So my goal, like I said, is to go to e2. So let's see if I can create that. So how many moves does this take? Well, I need to get to e2, but then I first need to get here. So let's see if I can clear that out first. So move the king. This is kind of the way that I did it. And maybe, and this is kind of the challenge, can you do it any faster? And I think the answer is yes. So now I have this free square here. I need to get here. Well, I have this train of rooks that has to move one move at a time before I can do that, right? Like this. And once I have that, I'll be in the clear. Okay, so rook move, king move. So right now we're at 10 moves. After this move, boom, that's 10 moves. Can I do it before 50? It looks like I can, just glancing. Okay, now after this king move, I'm here. Okay, now I wanted to get to one of these squares, so I can sacrifice on one of these pawns. Well, which one of these is fastest? Well, right now it seems pretty obvious that this d4 square is fastest because it's 1, 2 moves away. 1, 2. This guy on f4 would be more than that, right? It'd be 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and of course the knight jumping in would be 5. Okay, so it's white to move. No, it's black to move. Make this move, and then make this move, and then knight jumps in. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that after the king moves, let's just say they move here, I can now sacrifice on one of these squares. Let's pick c6. So what happens if they take me? Well, either way, if they take me with the, let's just say the d pawn, I push. You can't stop me promoting. Only move you have is some kind of capture, one of these, or move the king. It doesn't matter. You're going to lose either way. We'll promote to a rook just to make it even more fun. So that's not working. So you have to, after this capture, you have to either make a choice with this, or do nothing. Well, if you do nothing, if the knight goes on c6 and you move the king, do I still have a win? Well, of course I do, because I play knight a7, I push this pawn up the board, and I will win. Right? Pawn push, and now we're in the same position as before. You take this, either way, I'm pushing the pawn up. You don't take it, and this guy's going to go up on his own. Okay, so this is it right here. It doesn't matter. You capture, it won't change it. Actually, let's do this. It won't change anything. So that's going to be mate, because this king is blocked off. So the answer, can you break this position open before 50 moves? The answer is yes. So that's it for this video. I created this puzzle on my own. There are lots of ways to do this. I get the feeling you can make a much better one. This is like my second attempt at one. I messed with one earlier and it wasn't as fun, so I wanted to make it a little harder. Try to see if you can make one of these. And if you can, let me know in the Discord server that I have set up. See if you can make one where you capture the pawn on the 49th move, right before the draw is claimed. Wouldn't that be sweet? I would challenge anybody out there to try it. It's a lot of fun. It's harmless. What's the worst that you're going to happen? You're going to have so many rooks on the board? It doesn't matter, right? It's all fun and games. But yeah, that is it for the video. If you enjoy the content, please be sure to like. Please be sure to subscribe. Every single thing helps me so much. Helps out charity in the long run as well. But yeah, that is it for now. Thank you so much. Bye.